They'll be calling you a radical. I just listened to the Chicago Bridge and Iron conference call. Fuck, what a dog and pony show. By the way, they missed. So they, the analyst consensus was 52 cents. They come in at 43, what they say, but that's with 31 cents amortized plugged back in, which is a legal crooked accounting freaking scam. So the real number is 12 cents. That's a quarter over quarter. Now remember, they have major cash flows, and so the usual analysts all called in. I listened to things, it was Sachs was the last one, the usual freaking suspects, and they're splitting hairs on shit that doesn't mean shit. They're underwater, their cash flow, they're selling off their technology business to even meet responsibilities because, and they're blaming everything on Harvey, blah, blah, blah. They took the $2.6 billion write-down on these nuke plants. So the elephant in the room will not even get mentioned. I can't believe it. They had the 5-6 major analysts of this entire sector were all on the call, every one of them. Not one of them brought up the Savannah River nightmare. One of them brought up the nuclear nightmare, and they says, well, we're trying to change our entire culture, we're trying to pivot, we're trying to restructure, get back to what we were, get out of this energy complex, blah, 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 blah. Scam life from hell. So, this crooked school of business, I got to tell you, I'll get into that, this piece of shit. I talked to this piece of shit yesterday, who's an economist here. Wow, fuck, what a fucking loser joke. But anyway, so back to Chicago Bridge, and look, here's the bottom line. How's these analysts not even mentioning this? So I will quote it again. The Department of Energy on the Savannah River Mox Fuel for Plant, which is a combined joint venture between Chicago Bridge and Iron at Areva. It's a $29 billion nightmare, a tower to Babylon. The Department of Energy goes in, year-long investigation, to Savannah River, to Chicago Bridge and Iron. Here's their conclusion, and I will post it. Reported by the Washington Post. It's a fact jack. Here's their conclusion. They say they made patently false statements on where. Now think about the auditing system, and think about how corrupt, and think how bad the auditing system is. How can it be possible you can have a multi-decade project of the sums of 29 billion, supposed to 400, and they said they made patently false statements that the project is 28% complete when Savannah River has billed you, the United States taxpayer, for 70 plus 70% completion. Anywhere from 72 to 78 completion. Now I want you to do the math. They have billed the United States taxpayer currently well over $19 billion. 19 billion, you heard me. This is Chicago Bridge, the bankrupt Areva. So they're being accused of the fraud of 28% completion versus 72. I can do a little bit of math. You can do a little bit of math, right? So let's break it down. $19 billion. So that's $12-14 billion in fraud. Now, of course, we have the new sheriff in town, which is Trump, which is, carte blanche. Let's let it go. I don't know. I don't know, But, like I said, not a peep, not a word. All it's going to take, and these analysts, how's this dog and pony show? You're going to place they missed revenues. The revenue's drying up. They're fairy telling the whole conference call. They're fairy tale. We got this, we got that in the pipeline. We get this. They got shit in the pipeline. It's a fucking joke. These fucking analysts just, they're pathetic. They won't ask any of the tough fucking questions. They just splitting fucking hairs. This company fucking took a fucking $2.86 fucking a share right down last quarter. That's how fucking broke they are. They're beyond fucking broke. They got no money. They got nothing. They're on borrowed fucking time. They've got to meet their obligation by the end of the quarter. They're selling off their technology and a fairy tale. First they said 2.8 billion. Then they come out today and says they're going to get 2 billion. They ain't going to get 2 billion out of it. Not in this environment. Fuck, nobody wants their shit. So, and they'll pump and dump. That's what these freaking low-lying fruit pieces of shit analysts do anymore. They're all over the internet. They're pathetic. Pump and dump. One guy priced it at, this is how fucking whacked out. One analyst has a $28 share, another one has a 0. I'll go with 0. You know, they're dreaming. So the General Electric unwinding catastrophe is ongoing. They're so fucked. They're so fucked. So stand tuned. This is the nuclear industry criminal rats. Are they going to pull it off? Are they going to pull it off? Well, I guess we'll see if you, the taxpayer, allow them to. Especially the taxpayer in South Carolina and Georgia. I mean, I don't know why the fuck you guys, fucking Attorney General, heads aren't rolling. I can't believe it. I mean, well, the whole country for that matter. Fuck. I mean, Obama, what a rat. What a weakling fucking Justice Department. Obama for prison, Trump for prison, Obama for prison, Trump for prison, Obama for prison, Trump for prison. They allow this to go on? How can they possibly allow this to go on? Not a fucking word from one of the analysts. I mean, one analyst mentioned the nuclear energy, how they had to pivot out and what a nightmare. And, you know, they made the statement, they says that they're pivoting away from it. You know, we're going back to where we were, but it's going to take some time. We're going to have to trade in a whole new culture, blah, blah. They're so fucking broke. So the real number was not, they missed. They missed. The real number was 12 cents. They amortized back in 31 cents this year. They missed revenue, and they're just going to get worse and worse. They're fucked. This company is fucked. You know, so go ahead, buy it up. Stay tuned.